Haven't been live for a while, but I'm live today and I'm hoping for some help here. So when you get on, let me know where you're joining me from. It's a beautiful afternoon in northern Arizona. Yesterday was cold and windy. Today's nice. Tomorrow will probably be cold and windy again. We always get hopeful that summer's coming and we get our hopes up, and then winter comes back for a while, but that's okay. Casey started official track practice this week, and every time track practice starts, then the wind starts too. So guys, I am excited to see if any of you want to help out with what I'm going to ask you to help with today. But I want to see how many people we can get on first. I see people from Gallup and Tonopah. So Gallup, New Mexico, Tonopah, Arizona, Michigan, North Carolina, Florida. It's amazing to me how we get people from all over the world on our channel. Although some people stopped subscribing this past week when I raffled a horse, and I'm going to address that on a different live. Today it's all about helping this horse and helping someone else that I'm going to tell you about here in a minute. Awesome, Lisa. It's finally raining in Chatsworth. I hope the rain comes this direction. We have Michigan on and Apache Junction, Arizona. We have the UK. Jason Wells on the airplane in Chicago, watching the farm on Route 66. Well, Jason, I hope you're getting to do something fun out there. Vicky is actually in Utah right now. She flew up, and our grandbaby will be born, unless Kaylee goes into labor tonight, then she will be induced tomorrow. And so Vicky flew up to Utah, and then she's going to help out until Casey and I can come. Our spring break is coming up, and so we'll go get Vicky and see the new grandbaby, and life is good. So, but pray for Kaylee that everything goes well. She's a trooper. I see my wife and now my daughter and my daughter-in-law. They're just amazing, all that they do to get these babies here. Tracy said she never heard who won the horse. I don't mind telling you who won the horse, but I'm going to spend a whole live about the raffle. A lot of people were very upset and left the channel, so I assume none of you were those people because they're not on here anymore. But I do want to tell you that Blaze went to an amazing home, happier, better than anything I could have dreamed of, honestly. And so it's the Charlie family, last name Charlie, from New Mexico, and they're a rodeo family, and I am so excited. And I'll tell you more later. On our other social media platform, we put a picture of the family already. It's hard to keep up with two platforms, but I just want to tell you that it turned out better than I could have hoped or dreamed. But anyway, thanks for the prayers, Lisa, and thanks for everybody from all over the place that are joining us right now. Let me tell you about this horse right back here. A lot of you maybe know our friends at Tin Barn Farm and the Wilhelm Way. It started 2 or 3 years ago. I can't even remember how long it's been that they reached out to us. We had a mule for sale, not Poco, but kind of a wild mule, and they were interested in a mule. They called us, they came, they were just such a nice family. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but I was talking to John, and he shows up, and I find out he's married to a girl I went to high school with, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And so we just renewed a friendship and started a friendship with their family. John and Sandra have 10 children. and I think they have about, I'm guessing, I think 4 grandchildren. John is a year younger than I am. I'm 53. I'll be 54. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah, I'm 53 and John is 52. And so when they came to get the mule, we said, you should start a channel. June, thank you. June just said she's one that didn't agree with the raffle. It's not my business. Blaze will have a good life, but I'm not subscribing. Thank you for all the good deeds that I've done. June, thank you. That means a lot, because I guess that's something that surprised me. I have helped rescue hundreds of horses, and I feel like I've tried to do some good things, and yet one thing that disappointed people, and they hated me and left, but that's okay, because I feel good about everything that happened, and like I say, we'll spend more time on that later. But when John and Sandra came to the farm, and I'm sorry we have roosters in the background, but just enjoy the sound of the farm right now. But when they came to the farm, we're like, you guys should start a channel, and they did. They started the Tin Barn Farm. Their tin barn is the coolest. It's a cool barn, but the story is amazing that they moved a barn that's that big from one location to another is just amazing. So they started Tin Barn Farm, and since they've started a second channel called Wilhelm Way, showing just how the Wilhelm family does things. Their kids are amazing athletes, especially wrestlers. And Johnny just won the junior high state championship. So for the whole state of Arizona, he won it. And then Ruthie, a freshman in high school, she got to the championship match of state wrestling for high school. And now there's a women's division, which I really like that they've added that. And she was wrestling a girl that was a senior in high school. Ruthie's a freshman. In the state championship, the senior was undefeated, and Ruthie beat her. And so she's the state champion. Well, little did I know, even though we're good friends, John is not someone that lets you know when he's having a tough time. Their family's very independent, and they take care of themselves. But come to find out that during Ruthie's match, he was in the hospital recovering from a quadruple bypass surgery. And the reason I found this out is he called me a couple nights ago, and he said, Alan, and I could tell he didn't sound good. I said, what's going on? Well, I just had quadruple bypass surgery. I was like, you were kidding me. I said, because I'd congratulated him about Ruthie's state championship on a text, but he didn't tell me he wasn't even there. And so I said, did it happen after the wrestling match? He said, no, I've been recovering for a couple weeks. And he said, I just was feeling some pain in my chest. Things weren't going good, and I knew something was not right. And I went in, and they said, hey, you've got to be admitted. He had some blockages or whatever, the widowmaker they call it, because those blockages can happen and you don't even know it, and you can have a heart attack and die. Well, like I say, he's 52 years old, 10 children, 2 or 3 or 4 grandchildren, and just an amazing family and an amazing life. But he called and said, Alan, would you like a horse? I'll just give it to you. He said, I was planning on, me and the boys and Ruthie were gonna get it riding and train it and sell it. And then he told me about some other horses, and he said, I just have too many. Let me give you a horse. I said, John, you're not giving me a horse. I said, let me help you sell it or something. And he's like, no, Alan, it'll help me to get it off my feed bill. And because he can't do anything right now, obviously. And I said, well, John, I'll come get the the horse. And I actually picked up a couple other horses that I delivered for him. He had arranged some other things to try to help get horses. He has a lot of horses, and so they're on his feed bill, but more than that was just the stress of not being able to do anything with them. Well, I delivered one over to St. John's on the way home last night that's going to be trained more, and then I took a couple others to another place where they will be able to have a good home and or a forever home. And so anyway, I came home with this girl. Now I got to tell you a little bit about her, but I'm hoping someone out there will want to help. I've got, I think, 23 horses around the property right now. My hands are full, but at least I'm in good health, unlike John right now. And yet, when I go to John's house, he's got kids running around everywhere that are able to help him, but they're still involved in sports. Now, softball started for Ruthie, club wrestling, John needing to recover. Anyway, I don't have the time to do everything with the horses I have. But I knew that if I brought this horse home, we could help find her a home. And I am not going to keep the money, even though he insisted that I keep the horse. He says his insurance is good and stuff, but I know from past challenges, I don't know if you can see the scar on my neck. I broke my neck, and I know when I broke my neck, I know when I had my strokes, I know when Vicky's had thyroid cancer. It doesn't matter how good your insurance is. There's a lot of expenses that people don't realize until you're in a situation like that. Just driving to the doctor. We live in rural Arizona, where everything's an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours away, and then just food and time off of work, and the list goes on. So here's how I want you to help. Let me turn this around. Okay, this little mare, she's about 3 years old. Now I'm going to show you. She's not trained to ride. She's barely started to lead. John said before the accident they had put a halter on her and she started to lead a little bit, but she's actually pretty scared of people still. As I'm just walking around in the corral, you can see she does not necessarily want to stop. Now, if I go real slow, and talk to her slowly, I was working with her a teeny bit before I started this live. I can come up to her. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Come here. Come here, girl. There she goes. Oh, I thought. She's a little nervous because before it was just me coming up to her without a camera pointed in her face. So she's a little nervous. Oh, she's very nervous, but she won't quite let me touch her. There she goes. I touched her. Come on. She's nervous, but she's starting to let me touch her a little bit. I tried to put a halter on her, and I couldn't quite get it on before she would kind of bolt away. But she's 3 years old. She was, when John rescued her and 2 others off the Apache reservation, and when I say rescued, they were in great flesh, meaning they're very healthy. As far as she wasn't starved to death at all. She was just untouched. She does have a brand on her from the previous owners, but they just hadn't done anything with her. Looks like a WQ brand. So they hadn't done anything with her. So when John got her, there was a stallion and another mare with her. So the fact that she's been running with a stallion, she is most likely pregnant, more than likely pregnant. Like I say, she's only 3 years old. She's a beautiful, I'd call her a buckskin paint, because she's kind of a tri-colored paint, but she's got a lot of the buckskin coloring. Well, I would like to find her a new home, a forever home, someone that can take a horse that's wild, and the fact that she's not trained to do anything. I will get a halter on her in the next day or two, hopefully. But I've got, like I say, so I'm going to meet a grandbaby, so hopefully I can get a halter on her and start messing with her. But like I say, I am right now, and like I say, if I go slow and go up in this corner, oh, are you gonna let me pet you now? Come on. She doesn't quite want me to pet her, but it won't take long to be able to get her with the halter on, hopefully. But I don't have time to train her. I don't need a baby around the farm, even though they're cute as can be. That's the last thing I need right now. So when John called, I was so grateful he would call. He knew I would take her, and he literally, no strings attached, wanted to just give her to me. And even as I left yesterday, he said, "No, Alan, no money." And I was like, "Okay, John, that's fine." Well, now that she's here, I can do whatever I want, right? So if I can find a good home for her that will give me a good amount, we will give that amount to John and his family to help with medical expenses and travel and all that. So I guess the way to go about it, if you're interested, and again, she is untouched. I mean, when I say untouched, she's been touched, but that's it. So there's no training here. It makes me a little nervous when I put things on YouTube. Someone from across the country may say they can help, and that's fine. The only problem is if someone outside of the state of Arizona wants her, then we're gonna have to get a Coggins test, and that takes at least 5 days. Plus, I've got to get a halter on her and get her to the point that we can draw blood, and then you got to figure out shipping and timing. And so I would rather not have her around for long, just because I have so many horses of my own. I did not take her because I needed another project. I took her to help John, knowing all along that I would do exactly what I'm trying to do here, and that is find somebody who wants to help with this beautiful project and would give her a forever home, and maybe get her trained and possibly have a baby. And so someone said, "Did you mention her age and breeding?" Okay, she is not a registered horse. She originally came off of the Apache reservation. Some people are pretty critical when I call a horse a Mustang if they're not a BLM Mustang. When I call a horse a Mustang, it means that their genetics are unknown and they've kind of run wild or free most of their life. That's how I refer to them, as a Mustang. But she's not a BLM Mustang. She wasn't on the Bureau of Land Management. She doesn't have the Freeze brand and stuff like that. Okay, some good questions are coming in. How tall is she? Again, I can't even touch her yet, but she is approximately 14.3, maybe 15. She's a pretty good size filly. Good size for around here. Um, the other question was, how old is she? John said she was 3 years old. And oftentimes, even though a horse has run wild, the owners have loved having them and watching them grow up and knew when they were born. They just never got around to training them. And so she was not neglected, she was just untrained, if that makes sense. If she wandered onto BLM land, could we call her a Mustang? I have no clue. To me, a Mustang is a horse that's run wild most of their life. But again, I don't know the terminology. Someone can tell me. But so she's probably approximately 15 hands. She's a beautiful color. She won't quite let me see. She was right before. Oh, there you go. Good job. Let me touch you for just a second. She was letting me scratch her forehead. But now you got to imagine, I'm not only having this hand in front of me, but I have a camera in front of me too. And sorry, the wind's blowing also. Yeah, someone said her hooves look trimmed. Most of these horses that run wild, their hooves stay very manicured or very trimmed. A lot of people have asked me, how come wild horses don't have crazy, crooked, long, curled up feet? And the answer is, if you're running in rocks and sand and stuff your whole life, then God just takes care of it. They get knocked off and scraped off and rubbed off. And so, yeah, her feet are in good shape. Now, if we start keeping her in confined areas like this. So at John's, when wrestling season started, they have about 40 acres that she was running on out there. So still kind of wild. They put a halter on and started to mess with her, and then he had his heart problems and had the quadruple bypass surgery and realized that it was just too much. And so I was so glad he reached out to me. And again, he just said I could have her, but we're gonna take the money and get it back to John to help them out. So, Mark, you're so awesome. Mark just sent $9.99 as a super chat to help out. Mark, that's super nice. So that's another way you could help out. But someone just asked how much. It's kind of like a silent auction in the fact that I'm not going to set a price tag on her. I definitely will not take an amount because people are always concerned that horses are going to go to slaughter. Believe me, that's not what I want to have happen to any horse. I want them to find a good forever home. So if I were to let her go to a home, even if you were in love with her for an amount that's less than what slaughter prices are, that would be concerning. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, see, that's why I don't want like the raffle idea. Well, we'll address that another day, because that's a totally different issue. But with that said, if you're interested in helping with this, oh wow, Mickey, I don't know who you are, other than Mickey constantly is commenting on our channel. Like and subscribe to this family to help them grow. And Mickey, I wish I knew who you were in person, but I want you to know how much we appreciate you and Mark and everyone else that watches our channel, puts up with things you don't even agree with, and just realizes we're trying the best we can to help horses and help people. So if you're interested in this horse and can provide a good home and some training, sorry, the wind's really picking up, so it's going to get kind of nasty and the noise will be terrible out here. This time of year, we get a lot of wind, but it's been pretty calm, but all of a sudden it's picking up. But I think it's gonna blow through hard and then stop. That's what it normally does for a second. I'm an old lady that grew up with horses. Well, Mickey, I'm an old man that I'm still dealing with horses. And Mickey, like I say, email us sometime. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, because I just can't thank you enough. There's people like you and Mark, both of them just sent super chats. Oh wow, there's like a twister. I don't know if you can see it. It's pulling weeds, and we call them they call them Texas tornadoes in Texas. We call them dust devils or whirlwinds. Anyway, I don't think you can see it from here, but so sorry, I'm getting distracted. So if you want to help Tin Barn Farm, the Wilhelm family, and me, because it would help me to not have another project around. As beautiful as she is and awesome as she is, when John called me, the last thing in the world I wanted to or that I needed to do is get another horse. I just gotta, you haven't even seen the video, but Vicky made me promise to find homes for some horses before I got any more. Well, I did. I found homes for some horses, and I found some more at the same time. So be watching. Like I say, I think I still have 23 horses and donkeys. And so if you would like to help, Mark just helped me out. He put my email. It's thefarmunder66@gmail.com. Okay? Then just let me know. Say, hey, I would like to provide a home for that horse. I want to, and give me kind of what would be your bid? What would be your, is that how a silent auction works? And the fact that, and don't be offended if I say, you know what, I'm sorry, $300, just, that's not enough to assure that you're not gonna do something. Anyway, I know I sound like a total hypocrite with the raffle idea, but I wish I could address that right now, but I want to address it with all the comments that were sent to me that were so hateful. But if you can take care of this horse, provide her a good home, get her some training, and possibly get a baby. And by the way, I saw the stallion. You can actually see her on Tin Barn Farm. You can see him. He's a beautiful gray stallion that they had. And again, they've been finding homes for some of these, just knowing that they could not take care of everything. But I'm glad John called us and knew that I would provide a home for this one. And even though he was willing and wanting to just give her to me, I thought, nope, we're gonna help get you some medical bills paid, or travel expenses, or time off of work, or groceries for 10 kids. I mean, I can't imagine what it costs. Now, they don't have all 10 kids at home still, but I'm sorry, I'm sure the wind's really bothering you. So if you want to provide a home, and again, I hope it's in Arizona, just because, man, this is really picking up. Just because if it's out of the state of Arizona, we've got to consider travel expense. Well, you would have to figure out travel expense, but also we would have to consider Coggins tests and getting her gentle enough that I can even get her to the vet to draw blood. That would complicate things to take her out of the state of Arizona. So I hope I've said it clearly enough, and let's see if any of you can help. I have a feeling that someone's going to reach out and be generous and say, hey, I would love to give her a home and help out the Wilhelm family, and let's make this work. So another way you could help the Wilhelm family is go watch Tin Barn Farm or the Wilhelm Way. I don't even know that they've posted a whole lot lately. I doubt that they have. I don't have a chance to go watch other channels much. I barely watch our own. But go watch them, subscribe to their channel. They probably have their email or something there if you wanted to reach out to them and see how you could help. But what is the slaughter price right now? Now, some of you may get offended by that question, but it's a great question. There is a price that killer buyers are willing to pay at auctions, and the last I heard, it was about 35 cents a pound. So for a 1,000-pound horse, it'd be $350. Again, we don't want that to happen. It won't happen under my watch here. This horse is going to go to a home that's going to provide for her and hopefully her baby, and going to help out the Wilhelm family. That's the goal. So there you have it, guys. I hope I've been clear enough. I hope the wind has not been too bad. Mickey and Mark, thank you for your super chats. Thank you for all of you that have watched. Okay, so Lassie Girl Dawn said they haven't posted for several months. Lots of prayers are being sent for them. What a lovely family. Well, now it makes sense why they haven't been posting much. Wrestling season and a quadruple bypass have definitely gotten in the way. So Mickey, there you go. See, Mickey's always helping me out. Please like and share. Okay, guys, I know it's windy. It wasn't this windy when I started, or else I probably wouldn't have done it, but I'm glad I did. This beautiful girl, probably pregnant, 3 years old, and untouched, well, barely touched. Like I say, John and his family got a halter on her, and they got her leading a little bit, and then the accident happened, and she's not wanting me to put a halter on yet today. But can this horse be shipped to Montana? The question is, or the answer is yes. She could be shipped anywhere that you, I mean, shippers ship all the time. Because she's not halter broke, that complicates things a lot. It means I need to spend time getting her gentle down and getting her to a vet and getting a Coggins test, and so all of that complicates everything. And so yes, I want to help. I don't have a ton of time to help do all that right now, but reach out and let's see if we can come up with a plan that'll work for everybody or somebody. Have a great one, guys. Sorry for the wind. God bless, and thanks for all that you do. You're the best. And I will address the raffle. I will address the raffle idea later. A lot of people got mad and even left our channel over it, but I still feel good about what happened. Yes, Grandma Shelley, we do want to avoid the kill lot. I guarantee I will not let her go to a home that would take her to the kill lot. So, all right, sorry, the wind is terrible. Have a good one. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.